Hi, today I want to share about a statement someone once made that had quite an impact on me and that I use to this day to assist myself and to challenge myself. Now, this statement is all emotions and feelings are manipulation. Now, I've already for a long time, and when I heard that statement, I had also already for a long time already been investigating emotions, feelings. To what extent are they supportive? To what extent are they destructive? In what way do they lead me to actions and behaviors that are actually not supporting me or anyone else in my world? And I had to a large extent come to understand that most of the time emotions and feelings are something you can do without, something that don't necessarily lead to the best outcome. And so I had already stopped to a large extent stopped trusting my own emotions and feelings, and I became quite critical of them, and I started investigating them, where I saw that most of the time there's layers and layers underneath them of information that I hadn't even considered, where I would just act on the emotions and feelings. So the idea of emotions and feelings being manipulation was not something that on an intellectual level I would necessarily disagree with. And yet in that moment when the person said to me, all emotions and feelings are manipulation, I had a moment of, whoa, this is quite a statement. And I remember I reacted in that moment. It like struck a chord. So it was only later that I started understanding and realizing the power of that statement really, and why in that very moment I was resisting it, actually. Why I wasn't willing to embrace it, where part of me wanted to fight that statement. And now what I've seen and realized is that there was certain emotions and feelings that I felt I had the right to experience, where I specifically felt that I was innocent in participating in them. Let's take examples like fear. Fear is one of them, where I felt like, well, if I'm scared out of my mind, then I'm just being overwhelmed by fear, and well, it's not that I'm manipulating anyone, I'm just so scared. I mean, it's normal. I get to be scared in that moment. Another one that's very common and that I notice especially in people who are in relationships is the experience you go through when another person is not treating you with the respect and the honor and the consideration that you'd like. That you'd like to receive and that you should actually be receiving, where it goes into a whole experience of self-pity and victimization, and why are they treating me like this, and it just doesn't stop, and no matter what I say they just keep doing this to me, and this and the words that are coming through in those moments are, my partner is abusing me. Most of the time, not physically, but on through communication, through their actions, through inconsideration, or through simply speaking whatever comes up in their minds, even to the point of really saying nasty things and being very judgmental, and all the things you don't want to hear of someone that's supposed to be your partner in life, that's supposed to be your rock, the person that's supposed to support you and assist you. So a lot of the time those experiences of feeling like you're being abused and it's so terrible and it's really awful and why are they doing that, those seem justified. It seems like we have a right to feel that because, I mean, look at what this other person is doing to me. I'm not making this up, okay? It's actually happening and I don't deserve this. So that's the logic that is used for saying, well, I deserve to feel like this, you know? And, you know, it's interesting because what is not being understood is that those emotional reactions and those, you know, the whole experience you're going through of feeling like a victim and God, it's so terrible and why is this happening and I don't know what to do. None of that is helping you, actually. I mean, it's not helping you to stand up. It's not helping you to realize that you actually can be stable. It's not helping you to realize that you're not actually being harmed. Now, this is very important to understand. And for instance, it's a belief that you can see in the words, my partner is abusing me, where now you're choosing to see the whole scenario as abuse, that you are being abused because my partner is abusing me. So now that's what you're going to experience. You're going to feel like a victim of abuse. You're going to feel like you have been abused. That means that you feel like you've been harmed and compromised and diminished. When it doesn't have to be that way. I mean, instead of seeing it as my partner is abusing me, you could see it as my partner is trying to abuse me. You know, everything that's happening that is coming from your partner is coming from your partner. You know, he's saying things, not doing certain things, failing to consider certain things. That's all your partner's behavior. That's all of their stuff. So you don't have to make it about you. No matter what your partner is doing or trying or failing to realize, it doesn't mean it has to affect and influence who you are, because you always have the power and the ability to decide who you are and to determine who you are. That is your responsibility. You cannot make your partner responsible for what you experience. There is no one in the world who has voodoo magic, you know, that can make you experience things inside of you. Even though we feel like that's what's happening, and in the way we use our words, that's what we try and make ourselves believe. He made me so angry. Oh God, he's so annoying. He annoys the hell out of me. He really, you know, all those things like they're doing this to me. This is what they bring out in me. No, they're not actually doing that. You're you. This is what happens inside your body, inside your mind. That's always you. You can never shift the blame or the responsibility to someone else. So, back to the point of feeling that some emotions and feelings are justified. It seems to be that when we feel we are a victim of someone else's doing, we feel justified in experiencing annoyance, anger, pity, frustration, anything. When actually you don't have that right. It's not justified. Now, why do I say that? And I don't mean to be harsh towards people who are in those situations. I know that it's not nice. I know that it's not actually what you deserve. I know it's not the ideal situation to be in, and I know that's not what you want your relationship to be like. But it's one thing to assess what is playing out and to see, well, actually it's not cool. You know, what this person is doing, what they're accepting and allowing, or what they're trying to do, it's suboptimal. This should actually not be happening. It's another thing to become emotional about it. Oh my God, this is not fair. Why did only doing that to me instead of. Yeah, those are two different things. In the one, you're simply seeing what's happening and you remain stable and clear. You realize that what they're doing is what they're doing. Doesn't mean it has anything to do with you personally. It doesn't mean that you're actually being harmed or diminished. You're actually still fine. You're okay. The other one, you're allowing yourself to see that you're being harmed. And you're going into this whole emotional experience, which now justifies, which is very important, which now justifies why you're not standing up. Because if you feel like you're a victim, then it means you don't have the power to do anything about what you're going through. Because it's apparently someone else doing it to you. When it's not, whatever you experience is your responsibility. So if you become emotional and you start complaining and whining and feeling like you're helpless and hopeless and you're this other person's victim, then what you're doing is you're stating that you have no power whatsoever. You have no ability to do anything. You cannot stand up for yourself. None of those things. You're basically renouncing your responsibility to stand and to actually remain as a directive principle in your life and your relationship. So and this is also important, when within the statement all emotions and feelings are manipulation, it's not necessarily that you're manipulating someone else, but you can still be manipulating yourself. And in those moments where you feel like you're justified to go into an emotional reaction or a feeling reaction, that's what you're doing. You're manipulating yourself into thinking that there's nothing you can do, and all you can do is just be emotional and wait and hope for that other person to finally stop doing these things to you. When it's not, that's your own limitation that you're imposing to yourself. So this is something I wanted to share with you, because even though initially I thought it was very harsh to hear that all emotions and feelings are manipulation, they've actually assisted me a lot in grounding myself in moments where I was going through all kinds of emotional experiences. And I went, hold on. And that one sentence came up again. All emotions and feelings are manipulation. So I'm like, okay. And then it assisted me to ground myself and to, again, take in that critical stance inside myself, to be critical of what I'm experiencing, what I'm accepting, what I'm allowing. Is it helping me? Is this productive? Is this supportive or not? And then decide for myself how I'm going to act, how I'm going to behave, what I'm going to try, what I'm going to stop doing, So yes, that's what I wanted to share. If you feel like you're in a situation where you're being abused and there's nothing you can do about it, please remember, it doesn't mean that you are being abused. It's more that someone is trying to abuse you. You decide whether actual abuse is taking place. As soon as you decide that this person is abusing me, well, now there's abuse. If you decide to realize that this other person is trying to abuse me, there's no actual abuse taking place because you didn't accept it. You didn't allow it to actually get to you. So there is no need to speak of abuse. So it's also going to change your experience within it. It's going to change your ability and your power to be able to change something, to be able to direct and to assist the other person. All right, so that's what I wanted to share. If you have any questions about this, just leave a comment and I'll assist you. Okay, bye.